Second try, the battery died on me while I was halfway through with our update for you. We decided to try something new and give you record short videos instead of just typing, but letting you know a little bit more of what's going on and what has been going on. It's been 6 months now that we launched Satoshi, and we thought it's time for switching things up and trying like a new format. So as I said, 6 months ago we started Satoshi in November 2023, and actually was in the making for most of 2023, with the initial idea reaching back to many years before that point, when we were still living in Berlin. When I say we, then I mean Shao and I. Shao and me still living in Berlin in the apartment, and slowly, like getting our feet wet and experimenting with tea, and tea came into our life, I should say, and then step by step transforming the living room into a tea room, and there's a lot of like steps in between, but like listing them all up or explaining the whole starting point would probably like be too much for this update, but it's maybe a good idea for a separate video. So in the beginning, it was a very steep learning curve for us in terms of social media. We had no clue like how to really, like what to do, which platform to choose, how does that work. I personally didn't use social media. I like got sick of it already, like, I don't know, in 2010, something, when Facebook just really took off. That was for me the time that I thought like, I really want to, like be, I'm weird like regarding this kind of stuff, but suddenly I found myself in the situation of being forced to engage with people on social media. Otherwise, in the year 2023, back then, how do you want to get the word out, right? So we signed up everywhere, and we tried to establish kind of like a following. But truth to be told, nothing seemed to work. Like we tried different types of content. We tried all sorts of stuff, but it didn't really work, and it felt weird. And we tried, I think one of the biggest problems was that we tried to fit into the existing community, which didn't really make sense, because why we started Satoshi in the first place was that we wanted to disrupt and wanted to be different and wanted to bring change, and wanted to offer people a different perspective on tea, like a more holistic approach, rather than just, okay, sit down and drink tea and it's delicious and you post the same, this is my cup, this is the tea I bought it from XYZ. There's nothing wrong with this, but we think there's so much more to tea, using it as a medicine, like as a herb, healing yourself from the inside, battling anxiety or stress, which helped me personally a lot throughout the last years. Can be useful for so many things. You can use it, in ceremonies. You can do lots of things with tea, and that's kind of like the whole point for us. Understanding where it comes from, understanding nature, reconnecting with nature, and so on and so on. So we felt that a lot of this is underrepresented, and that's what kind of we wanted to shed light on. But in the beginning, especially, we were not successful with this because, as I said, we just tried to fit in and we kind of lost our point. So that led to massive frustration on our side. And then for us, the logic also didn't add up. We thought we have some of the purest teas, arguably of the highest quality with very fair pricing. Why the hell is no one buying our tea? Like, why is no one showing up? And on top of that, we had to deal with another setback that two of our friends, the ones that we built Satoshi with in the beginning, decided to leave the project. So not only was that psychologically challenging, but also we had to restructure the whole thing because it was built around the idea of having a warehouse in Germany and delivering to supplying the European market directly. And our friends were in charge of logistics and infrastructure and this kind of stuff. So we had to make a decision, like, do we want to take over completely? And if yes, then how should we run things, and so on and so on. And that had to be decided in a short amount of time, of course. And eventually we took it as an opportunity and wanted to move forward with this, since that had been our idea for many years. And interestingly, we very quickly, like, a feeling of liberation set in, I would say, that we started to connect with people from all over the world and expressing what we really wanted to say, and not just what we thought we're supposed to say in order to grow on social media and to grow like a follow account. And then there were a lot of small but meaningful milestones. For once, definitely our tea podcast, Sato Talk experiment. We had 3 episodes. The first one with Kevin from British Columbia in Canada. Great guy. Became friends with him. The really, really great guy. Then Neldon and Cody, 2 like major figures in that established tea community. Yeah, that, I think those 3. And then our team made it to Singapore through a guest we had here in our tea room. We also have a tea room where we host guests locally who travel here or who want to drink tea. And we asked that person, because we saw a Date with Teas account on Instagram, and we asked him if he could hand over some of our tea as a gift to that person, which he agreed on. So our tea found the way from Taiwan to Singapore, and then those 2 people met, and she could enjoy our tea. And that was a cute little story, and worth sharing, I think, because that's kind of like what is the beauty of the whole thing, more on a personal level. And then a couple months ago, we met Treeman, aka Wild Tea Master Cho, who is very famous in Japan. He makes tea here in Taiwan, and we have become friends, and we share a very deep understanding and similar philosophy about tea. And yeah, we decided on this basis to cooperate with each other and to try to bring what I mentioned earlier to people in the West. And yeah, that has been very fruitful and very interesting. And one of the recipients of Treeman's Tea is Megan, who we met. And now we are part of her little journey, because she started a tea room over in Canada, also British Columbia, around Vancouver area, hosting tea ceremonies, and yeah, also working on a very spiritual level with tea. And that's something that we resonate with. So that's a great match as well. And lastly, a few weeks ago, we met Aga, the organizer of the tea festival over in Prague in Europe and Czech Republic. Also very, very kind-hearted person. And one of those people, by the way, this is the part where the battery cut out, and I had to re-record the whole thing. Now I'm already advancing. She is one of those people that, at least in our case, we talk, but you don't really need words. Like, you just look at each other and you have a few key elements and you immediately figure out that you're on the same page. And we have that feeling with her. And to be honest, we don't know too much about each other yet, but somehow I feel that this has great potential to create something, together, and to share it with the people who are interested in tea. So yeah, all those little milestones, I would say what we learned is that it's really not so much about our follower account, but all the small connections that we create, that we build, that we maintain, that we take care of, and taking care of someone else, and oftentimes even the person that you don't really know, like a stranger basically. And that is a very warm feeling, and it's a very rewarding thing. I feel like, yeah. Then I would like to talk about curiosity. I think there's a lot of curiosity in people. However, we all form habits as we grow older. And oftentimes out of convenience, we stick to those habits. Out of convenience, or because there's a risk attached to trying something new. For example, if you have been a customer to like a certain tea store, you've been buying tea from them for like 10, 20 years, and you think, yeah, it's all right, you know, it's good, you know what you get, this kind of attitude. And then you look at us and you think, why should I buy from them? I don't know them. And it makes you, you know, even though it's not really like a big deal to spend, let's say, what's the risk? I mean, you would spend, let's say, $50 somewhere else. Worst case, the tea is not great. I'm not saying $50 is not much money, but the risk is, let's say that the fear is not really rational and the risk is quite low, but you stick to your habit and you just continue your pattern. That's kind of what I'm getting at. So you have this constant battle between curiosity and risk, and naturally, like, questions arise, like, can I trust them? Is it worth my time? Is it worth my money? Will they keep their promise? And this kind of thinking kicks into your mind, and I will get back to it at the end of my talk. It's a reason why I'm bringing this up. Actually, in a minute, I'll get to it. And then April came last month, and that was the first month since we moved to Taiwan 3 years ago that we made enough money with tea and hosting people here and having tea ceremonies, that we made enough income to cover our basic cost of living. And we felt like that's really like it's really not much money because our cost of living is low. Like, we live a very simple life, but the thing itself felt like a step forward and like really like forward momentum, which we then decided to share with you. And the way we want to share it with you is by closing the gap between what I mentioned just a minute ago about curiosity versus fear, or curiosity versus risk, and handing out some free tea samples to you to kind of like bridge that gap. And there's really no catch. Like, you don't have to sign up anyway. You don't have to comment. You don't have to tag your friends. You really just have to, you know, reach out to us, and then yeah, you could try, you know, and you could try to break that pattern and break that habit and find out if there's more color, you know, more colors and more tonality in life than just repeating to kind of like eat the same pizza again. I mean, I get it. Some people just like that. They're just wired this way. And for them, it's not about exploring. For them, it's like feeling safe in their choices. But I'm also aware there are different people. And if you're one of those, then those words are basically for you. And I'm sure like my words will find the right people and they will feel addressed. And I think it's intended for those who are searching, who are willing to leave their comfort zone, who are embracing change, who want to walk their own path, you know. And our goal is really to be that initial spark to set you in motion, or to propel you forward in case you are already in motion. And that's really it. Like, and if we can achieve this, if we can, you know, contribute a little bit, then that's really, that makes us happy. And that is truly the reason why we run Sato-Tea, to help you grow in that sense. So yeah, please, if you feel, in case you feel that this resonates with you, then just reach out to us. Let's have a chat, let's have a conversation, and try our tea. It's of course limited. We can't like serve everyone for free. It's, well, I don't even have to explain, but we also have to pay rent and buy food, right? But at least a few of you, we would like to, you know, like, serve you, and can't wait for you to try our tea and for you to embark on like a journey to wherever you want to be in your life. And yeah, we want to contribute to this. That's our update. Thank you very much for listening, and we hear you latest next month, I guess. Bye-bye.